Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are doing what if Naruto, future Naruto trained past Naruto. Now, I just listened to the recording. Your voice does not sound the same until you get crystal clear audio. Till you get crystal clear audio, your voice does not sound the same as you hear it. Your voice does not sound the same as you hear it. Okay. Let's get back into it. You know what I'm saying? Goku's a saying. Goku's a saying. Vegeta's a saying. But let's get back into it. So last I remember is I remember leaving. I'm going for a little bit. They flying rushing back to their house, which is where I left off. So as they arrive, Mima and Naruto say, well, and then they both chuckle. Mima then says, well, Naruto, what do you want to do? Naruto says, you want to go find that big animal, the bigger animal. Mima says, yes, I do actually, Naruto. I wonder where it is. As Mima then says, well, Naruto, I think I'm gonna check underground. You checking through the tops of trees. Naruto says, okay. He says Naruto, make sure to bring you a couple scrolls with weapons in them. He says, okay. As Mima and Naruto, Mima starts digging under the ground and he hits something. And Naruto jumping in trees and he sees something bigger than anything he's ever seen. As they see two snakes, one underground and Naruto sees the one above ground. But they're guarding something. In the middle, there's a giant sword. And these snakes are the guardians of Heaven and Hell sword. The Heaven sword and the Hell sword. These were something Ashura and Indra left behind. As Ashura held the Heaven sword and as Indra held the Hell sword. But Naruto grabs the Heaven sword as a Mima grabs the Hell sword. He's like, wow. As the snakes wake up, because it's still as they hear the rumbling of the sword moving, and they wake up and they go for attack. Which, if you're not a reincarnation, then you are going to if you're not a reincarnation, then the swing won't hurt the snakes. As not both Naruto and Mima swing. They both chop off the heads of the snakes. As the snake head starts to regrow, he says, The snake says, both snakes say, I guess you two are reincarnations of Ashura and Indra. Well, as one says Ashura and the other one says Indra. As Mima then says, oh, I'm not the reincarnation of Indra, I'm the reincarnation of Ashura. It's like, but how's that? It says, as he explains his story to the snake, because knowing that the snake won't tell anybody. He says, well, he says, but the person I knew in the future, he's never come across his sword. So he won't get it in this timeline either. Seeing as how powerful this sword seems to be. It'll be in our care. Until we are about to die. A couple months before we die, we will have someone bring a scroll here. We will have them transport the swords back to you so you can guard them for the next reincarnations. As Mima says this, so does Naruto. But only Mima says this. Well, actually, since he says the cycle will end with Naruto and Sasuke. But he says, but he will reincarnate. So a bit of Ashura reincarnates along with Naruto. So now they leave. As Naruto says, "Hey, I found a sword." Mima says, "I found one too." So with this now happening, Mima Naruto say he want to train with them. It's like yeah, it's a bit heavy, but nothing a couple training can't fix. As they start a Kenjutsu battle, as they both swords. As Naruto has an idea, he marks Mima's sword. As Mima has no recollection of it, he won't have any memories of what Naruto does from now on. And he gets in this idea, I might just stay as Mima forever. Until I explain to Naruto who I am. But I won't go back to being Naruto to confuse people. I'll just be Mima. So, now, Mima and Naruto, after training for a day, they say, well, we gotta go to sleep, Naruto, because we have school in a couple hours. Because they've been training since, they stopped training at 4 and school starts at 6. So Naruto's tired, man. He says, okay. As they go in and sleep, and their alarm goes off, and what will I do? It's like, Naruto says, Mima, can we bring our swords to school? It's like, well, I'll ask the Hokage, but for now, we have to get dressed and go. And Naruto says, it's alright. He says, we want to walk there or find Raijin. Naruto says, find Raijin, but he says, I'll do it because I already have a marker on the school. He says, oh, so you think you gotten that much better with the flying Raijin? He's like, Naruto says, yeah, I did. So, Naruto and Mima, then Naruto flying Raijin send Mima to the marker. And Mima tells Naruto to sit there and save him a spot next to him in the front of the class. And save one for Sasuke too. So now, Mima says, alright Naruto, I'll be at the Hokage's office for a little bit. Since they now have 30 minutes before they really get an hour and 30 minutes of sleep because they wake up 30 minutes before school is ready, before school starts and go ahead and get there. Like a lot of time teachers get there. Zuruku walks in and is shocked to see. He says, Naruto, what are you doing here? He says, well, me and Mima came here like 5 minutes ago, but Mima's at the Hokage's office talking to Hokage-sama. Oh man. He said, oh. He says he's getting permissions from something. Iruka says, well, as Naruto pulls out a scroll and says this, and Iruka sees sword, this kanji for sword written on it. I believe that's what it's called, a kanji. I don't know. But Iruka says, well, if the third Hokage allows it, I'll allow you guys to show it off and have you two spar with senseis who are good in swordsmanship. As Naruto says, okay. I'll tell him that when he gets back, if the Hokage allows it. So Mima is in the Hokage's office. Says, hey, old man. He says, yes. Oh, Mima. He says, I don't think I want to tell Naruto. I'm gonna tell Naruto who I am, but I don't think I will show him my true form. I think I'll stay as Mima and stay on this team forever. I'm gonna stay with him as Mima forever. I'll probably have to have my own kids. So, now, Remember, he says, "Oh, your third, we found some swords and I need permission to show them off." He says, "Just go, just here." As he says, he just gives them permission. Says, "I give them permission to do whatever they want, or do whatever they want to do." As Naruto takes this and flashes away, he appears in front of Iruka Sensei, saying, "Here, Iruka Sensei." Iruka says, "I'll have to go let the principal know, because apparently they have principals and a ninja academy. Like, what the hell? Why not just teachers? I mean, yeah, I guess so. It makes sense because it's still school." As Iruka files it, and the principal says, "That old man." He says, "So, do you need two Kenjutsu users, two floor users?" As Iruka says, "Yes." He says, "For them to give a demonstration to Naruto, and might as well bring out the wooden swords." Bring out the getting from the year above, which is Rock Lee's team. Because Rock Lee is them still in the academy with Naruto and them. Because they're just a year ahead of them, is what I've heard. So, Naruto, remember, I'm waiting. And Sasuke comes in and says, "Where's Sensei? And how are you two here? I'm always here first." And I remember this says, "Come here, Sasuke, come sit here." This says, "Fine, I sit with you two, because you two aren't losers, but you're losers." As Naruto, they tell Sasuke, "Hey, it's okay. I heard what happened to your family. Just know, we are your friends. We'll help you get stronger to defeat your brother." As Naruto, as Mema says this to Sasuke, Sasuke lights up. He says, "Okay," but he says, when we will be coming to get you this summer, you will be staying with us for now forever until you're ready." He says, "Fine. You will have one person there to teach you the jutsu, because you cannot learn the jutsu two jutsus that me and Naruto know, which are the Hiraishin Jutsu and the Flying Raijin Jutsu and the Rasengan." Naruto refuses to give Sasuke that jutsu because he knows Sasuke will just use it against him in the fight. That's seen to come. So now Naruto, now everybody arrives and Ruka says, "All right, class. Today we're having Kenjutsu. We're having um a lesson in Kenjutsu." This is two of your classmates' raw swords that they have. As Naruto and Mema walk up, and on each side of Iruka says, "Show him." As he pulls out a scroll, as they unravel the scroll and the sword that's it. As you see, one has a long black blade with black flames on it, black red with flames on it, and another one is just radiating pure light, which is the one Naruto has. So the whole class is amazed, like, how did those two get those? So fangirls, it's Naruto and Mema have no fangirls. The people are cool with them, but they have no fangirls. The girls are still Sasuke fangirls. Say, "This should be Sakura says, "This should be Sasuke's. Iruka Sensei, make them give it to Sasuke." Naruto's Mema in his mind thinks, "Hell no, Sasuke had this. He'll kill me." Sasuke says, "I don't want it." We have those blades, but just because you have a fancy blade doesn't make you strong. Doesn't make you a good sword user. It's not telling him nodded their head at Sasuke. Says, "This is true. It's a blade that we found in a forest that only both of us can use, really. There's another person, but there's not three blades. There's only two. It says it's only three people in the world that can use these, and me and Naruto happen to be two of them, as we heard from the protectors of the sword." So now, two people come in, which is the purple hair girl, and Naruto's looking. He's like, you. And Mima says, you, you really, that's you. That's what you look like under that mask. As Hayate comes in, like, you know these two kids. As she pulls the two kids to the side, says, and Hayate says, no one, they don't know that I'm part of the Anbu, so you two will keep this a secret. They say, fine, fine, fine. We don't care. So the people a year ahead, which is Neji, Tenten, and Rock Lee, and the rest of their class comes down. It's to the fighting arena that's in the academy. It's Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto fights Hayate while Sasuke fights the purple hair girl. I forgot her name. I know it starts with a Y. Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe, something like that. As Iruka says, begin. As they both march off, as Naruto and Mima use their same an erratic sword style that no one has seen ever. As Hayate and his and the purple hair girl are shocked, like those are the. As Naruto uses his feet to hit Hayate, as Hayate has to block, and Naruto then kicks his sword up, jumps in the air, flips and grabs the sword and is starting to bring it down. And as Hayate has to bring his blade up and back it up with one hand while holding the handle. As he's struggling, he says, "How are these kids so good with these swords?" As something in it says, and Mima and Naruto's head says, "Channel chakra into it, and we will come to life." As Mima has now kicked the sword towards the purple hair girl. I'll find her name out later. As she blocks it, Naruto catches as she deflects it, not blocks it. She deflects it back at Naruto. As Naruto catches the blade and channels chakra into it. I mean, Mima catches the blade and channels chakra into it. So they, as as all types, different colors of flames appear, and a white light appears off Naruto's. As they slice through Hayate's and the purple hair girl's blade, and Naruto, they both hold it up to their throat, saying, "Do you surrender?" As they said, "We surrender." As yesterday was the one day that the Anbu wasn't watching Naruto and Mima, the day that they found the swords. They stopped following Naruto and Mima at least, because they know all they do is train, and no one will ever find them out there. They don't really have that much contact with the outside people. People like in the village, besides the Jonin and the ramen people. Naruto's Hayate and the purple hair girl says, "We want to talk to you two at in the principal's office later." Naruto and Mima say hi, and what shocks the purple hair girl, she looks at them like looking like, "What did I tell you to?" She starts to twitch as Hayate grabs her, and they walk away. As she holds her fist up, turning around, looking at Naruto, holding her, and Mima holding her fist and shaking it. She's telling them that she's gonna letting them know that when they see her, she's probably gonna hit them. As Ruka and the class are shocked, they're like, "Well, those two are experienced the best sword Jonin that we have, and you two just beat them." And Tintin is amazed. He says, "I've never seen any swords like that." I will put up an image at the end of the video to show you what the swords look like, though, by the way. So, Naruto then tells... Naruto then tells Mima, or Mima, we should probably join the club. as Naruto and them then appear in the stands as Tenten and Sasuke and Neji and Rock Lee surround it. It's like, wow, that was such a cool battle. As Neji is arrogant, but not as arrogant. He's a nicer Neji at this moment. Then he sees Hinata and he becomes cold. He's like, well, I guess you two are stronger than you've seen. As Mima doesn't really have a shirt, so you can see everything. He just has those black sleeves on, black pants, and Naruto has a shirt. Has his normal gear, like the one we see at the start of Naruto. He has that on. So now knowing this, and Titi says, "Can you two stop by the shop later today? I want to take a look at these swords." Naruto and Mima said, "Well, sure. We're gonna need the sheath for them too." Tenten says, "Yeah, I'll make you one." He says, "What do you want any designs on it?" Naruto says a sun, and Mima says a moon, a crescent moon. It represents the sun and moon. Mima has the Hellblade. I can't remember which one has the sun. I think Naruto has the sun one, has the sun, and Sasuke has the moon. So he says, "Well, maybe we're not. When it's time for me to, maybe if I find a way back home, I'll lead this to Sasuke." He thinks that. He says, "But for now, I'll be using it." So now Naruto and Mima, it's the end of the class, and Ruka says, "Well, since Naruto and Mima have beating Jonin swordsman, these two will most likely be on teams when you graduate." As Naruto then, as Ruka says, "Alright, class, at the end of the day, you two can go home." But he says, "But Naruto and Mima, you will need to be seen by Hayate and the Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe that's her name, and the principal's office." As the principal then opens the door, he says, "Alright, I'll leave you four to it." As Yu-Gi-Oh punches Naruto and Mima, says, "What the hell?" I say. As Hayate then says, Hayate always looks tired as hell, bro. Not gonna lie. Even when he was dead, he looked tired. Like, bro, you've been asleep for like 4 years. But then now, they say, "Where did you two get those swords from?" As Naruto and Mima said, "In the forest of death." She says the purple haired girl says, "The one day I didn't watch you. The one day that I left you two. The one day that we left you two. At the end of the day, you two find the legendary swords." Naruto says, "You know." Mima and Naruto says, "You know these swords?" He says, "Yes, those swords are legendary, only to be wielded by the reincarnations of the sages' past sons." He says, "What you two did means that you two are." As they know this, they only know about the story of the sages' past sons. They only know about the blades of the sage. They don't really know the full story. So he says, "That must mean you two are." Naruto then says, "I guess so." What's a reincarnation? As Naruto as everybody there's that comedic fall they all do when somebody says something stupid. And the member says, "Naruto, you read about this?" He says, "We did?" It's like, yo, I'll take you to the library. We're gonna read back up on that giant reincarnation book. He says, "No, that book is as Hayate says, Lord Third will be alerted to this." That's fine. But we have a shop owner that's waiting to see us about the swords. As they say, okay. As Naruto and Mima, as Tenten then in the sword, she's ready for Mima and Naruto. She throws a kunai that Mima gave her. She flashbacks and remembers Mima saying, "Well, when you're ready for us, just throw this kunai and we'll come." So she's been now they teleport to her as they fill the pool of Mema fills the pool of the kunai. He says, "All right, Naruto, she's ready." Naruto's fine. As they find Raiji there, and they unseal the swords at the as they get to the store. And Tensei says, "Oh, you two, well the swords." As Naruto and Mema unseals the swords from the scroll, he says, "Yeah, we should probably get a sword holder so that we can carry it around with us." As Tensei says, "Well, I'll get to work on that too, but for now, we need to take measurements and admire this blade, these beautiful blades." Alright, so now that we've done the heaven, they then build a sheath. One is white and one is black. The black one goes on Naruto's sheath since his sword is white, and the white one goes on Mema's sheath since his is black. And they engrave a black moon into Mema's and a white sun into Naruto's. As they say, all right, we've examined these swords, and there's no metal like this anywhere on that we've seen. So it must have been made from a rare metal. It looks, it was in the ground when we found it. It says maybe we'll find more. Naruto says, I doubt it. Mema says there. As Naruto might be like, well, there might be a earth sword. We should, as they say, well, let us see. Let us know if you find another one. As Naruto and Memo say this. So the year goes by. We're gonna time skip to a year, and then for a couple months, and now it's summertime. As Naruto and Memo are waiting happily. Naruto goes to get Sasuke. As Memo is waiting happily with the gift. As they found another blade, the earth sword, which was the sword of the sages. It's not the sword of sages past. It's the sword of Hamura, the earth swords, and that's how his because the heaven sword was Kaguya's, while the heaven sword was Hagoromo's, while the hell sword was Kaguya's. But he kept Kaguya did have a special blade whenever cause she has used the King of Hell before, and the first time the first time the King of Hell was summoned, he had a sword in his mouth that he spit out. And when Hagoromo once visited the heavens, he found the heaven sword and brought it back. And when they fought, they didn't really use these swords because they didn't really know the true potential of them. Samura has found on Earth. Hamura found the Hamura found a Earth sword. These are the three legendary blades. Now, Hayate and them only know of two because nobody really knows of of the other blades. So Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto then flashes with him and Sasuke. Sasuke has all his stuff with him. Naruto says, okay, Sasuke says, Mema, as Naruto appears behind him, he says, Naruto, Mema, what are you two hiding? As Naruto says, we have a gift for you, Sasuke. And Sasuke says, what is it? As they then pull out a sword, a brown katana with a brown sheath, and it has the Uchiha clan in it. He says, what is this? He says, for me, he says, what is this sword? He says, it's a sword exactly like hers. He says, the people who were guarding the sword says that this is the earth sword, the one that lay between heaven and hell. This is the sword that was meant for the humans to protect themselves against heaven, or the one to protect it against hell in case. But never, when three swords are put together, they are unbeatable. As all the swords of the seven swords of the mist all sneeze. Well, I mean, so let's just say the swords have consciousness, but they can't really have consciousness. That's where they get their chakra and stuff from. Samehada sneezes because she's really it's really the only one. I did just say Samehada was a she. I don't know what Samehada is. It could be a boy shark, girl shark. I don't care. It could be a shark. I don't give a fuck. But Samehada sneezes. As all the other swords shake for a second. It's like someone must be talking shit about us. And Sasuke then says, "Well, thank you, dude." As he says, no. Then notices the other symbol. He says, "What does this symbol mean?" He says, "It means Earth." He says, "Well, what we as Naruto and then and as the purple girl hair girls like they found what is that sword?" And she appears beside Naruto, and as she walks in, she transforms into her Jonin clothes, whilst even though she's still wearing her armor clothes, and she says, "Hey Naruto, Sasuke, Naruto, remember, y'all ready for your swords lessons?" And they see, and just like she must have seen the sword. It's like, "Oh, what's this sword?" And Sasuke she asked, "Can I see it?" As she says, "Wow, this is a powerful sword. I can feel it." In her head, she says, "I can feel that this sword is powerful. Might be even more powerful than the other two, the heaven and hell swords." Like this is not like a sword. Like this sword is now it's covered in wood. It's like its own sheath. But when you apply chakra into it, the wood sheds off of it, and out comes the brown blade. Well, out comes a we're just gonna say a blue blade because Earth is mostly covered now by water. So we're gonna say blue blade with the brown handle. I don't know if I'll find a katana picture for that, but we're just gonna say that. But Naruto didn't remember explain the legend of the Earth Blade that they found. He said that that sword was the sage's past brother, apparently, and he hid it because it was meant to counter. It was meant to fight heaven in case or hell to defend the earth. Humans. It was for humans as they were supposed to fight off heaven and hell with this sword as it was powerful enough. It's not the most powerful. All three swords are the same power as long as they never met. They were all the same power. So neither sword could overpower somebody else's. But yeah, she's amazed. She's like, these three brats will be something else. He says, but this sword doesn't really require reincarnation to use it. And she goes in her hand, and she says, She gives it back to Sasuke. Sasuke says, "I love this. I'm gonna keep this forever." Signify our friendship. And Naruto and Mima then tell Sasuke to put his sword out as they place a marker on it. Not visible to Sasuke but Yu-Gi-Oh noticed this. I think that's what her name. I'm just gonna call it Yu-Gi-Oh. But they noticed this. As they noticed this, she noticed this. And Sasuke says, "What did you do?" She says, "Well, we just gave the sword a little bit of power to awaken it." As the sword starts to shake, and all three swords shake together. So now, after the shaking is done, Sasuke, Naruto, and Mema all fight Yu-Gi-Oh in different sparring sessions in different Kenjutsu sparring sessions. Yu-Gi-Oh's like, Sasuke needs the most work, but Naruto and Mema's their sword work is really good. So now Naruto Now Kakashi comes down. He says, "All right, Sasuke, you're gonna be coming with me for a little bit, and I'm gonna teach you jutsu, and we're gonna progress your Sharingan." So Sasuke knows about as Sasuke asks Kakashi, yes, he knows that Kakashi's called the Copper Ninja, but he doesn't know why. As Sasuke says, "How do you know how to progress the Sharingan?" As Kakashi lifts his hand, and he says, "This is how." Sasuke says, "How did you have that eye?" As Kakashi then explains, so Sasuke does know about Kakashi Sharingan a little while earlier. And so, well, he teaches Sasuke how to awaken it and progress it. So, over the 3 month period and the next couple years until they graduate, Sasuke now has a three Tomoe Sharingan that he just awakened a couple the month before they start school again, before the end of their academy school year. As Naruto and Mima have passed every test, Sasuke coming in third, and Mima is now in second, and with Naruto being the rookie of the year. As Mima, as Rick says, well, since you threw your swordsman, let's see what you guys can do. As Mima channels Fire Chakra, Naruto channels Lightning Chakra, and Sasuke channels Earth Chakra into it. Sheathing the blades, making the blades, the the Hell Sword ignites, the Heaven Sword lights up with Lightning Chakra, and the Hell Sword, and the Earth Sword just sees all the wood because the wood builds up as soon as the sword is finished. And Sasuke then channels special chakra that he learned that he has, which is not is fire and lightning, which is I believe that's the combination for blaze release. I believe or scorch style. It's one of them. I was gonna go blaze. So like fire Materasu and stuff. But now Sasuke, as Iruka says, you three will be having a Kenjutsu battle. It's Naruto and Sasuke and Amema's not, and he says ready. He says begin. As they take their test with their all three of them tying, he says, "Well, I guess we had three rookies of the year." Sasuke says, "These two let me tie with them. They must have just tired out from using the blade. As they never really got a hold of his power." As Sasuke has better control over his blade, so he says, as they all knock each other out. Mima knocks out Naruto. Naruto knocks out Sasuke. And Sasuke knocks out Mima. As they all fall down, Yuka crowns them the three rookies of the year, and with being a Kunoichi of the year. So they all get their headbands. He says, he says, Mima, Sasuke, and Naruto. The third Hokage has a special team for you, but he wants you three to come and pick your teams. To him now, as they call. So Naruto then as Naruto Mima and Sasuke appear, as Sasuke grabbed onto Mima, and they appear in the third Hokage's office. They all say, "Oh man, what you want?" He's like, "I never get used to Sasuke calling me that." But Naruto and Mima, yeah. He says, "Well, since you three are the rookies of the year, well, you three were the strongest. I'll let you three pick a team, but you two will have two senseis before teammates, but one more teammate. You'll be a 6-man squad." As Naruto, Mima, and Sasuke all are, they say, "Well, the best logical choice would be to have a Kunoichi of the year, but they all Naruto knows that Sakura has to be on the team." So Naruto tells them, and they all nod. He says, "We want Sakura Haruno." And the third Hokage says, "Well, who do you want for your sensei?" Naruto says Jiraiya, and Sasuke and Mima say Kakashi. As he says, "All right." So this is actually where I'm going to end the what if all, guys. Peace and have a good day. So they do have Jiraiya as the sensei. All right, YouTube. I couldn't find the sword, so the sword will now be blue, and when it is unsheathed and hasn't been used in a while, the blade will be covered in wood, which will makes the blade brown and the handle blue. But the blade, when it is chakras pumped into it, the wood sheds off and it becomes a blue blade, representing the oceans on it. So imagine the blade is blue instead of the color you see now.